Hello children, welcome to today's class of Landform of the Earth. In this chapter we shall be studying about mountains, plateaus and plains. We'll be learning about the definition, the different types, and this chapter is included in your second term syllabus. Before we go ahead with the chapter, let us see what causes to the formation of the landform. By landform here we mean the different natural features that is present on the earth surface. Okay, firstly the reason for development or the causes that develop the landform of the earth is your plate tectonics. As you already know that the earth is made of several small plates and divided into several plates. Now these plates keeps on moving constantly. Okay, uh, since they move in a very slow rate or in a very slow speed, we don't feel they're moving. Okay, so when this plate moves, okay, they slide each other, they collide with each other, and the sedimentary rocks which are lying in between these plates, okay, experiences your orogenic movement. They experiences contraction. Okay, here in this image you can see this gray portion is your sedimentary rocks, and this sedimentary rocks is in between two plates. So when these two plates starts to compress, they get folding. It experiences the folding. This folding or this orogenic movement is known as your mountain building force. The other causes is your upliftment and submergence. Now the forces which operate in and around the radius of the earth, and they move vertically upward to the surface of the earth is known as your aperigenic movement. Now these aperigenic movements causes faulting. Okay, like tectonics, the orogenic, they cause folding, whereas your upliftment and submersion causes faulting. Due to this faulting, there are several mountains and plateaus are also built. Now what is a diastropic force? Now the diastropic force means when the orogenic movement and aperigenic movement, that is the folding and faulting, act together horizontally and vertically to form several type of or different type of landforms like mountain, plateaus and plains are known as your diastrophic force. Exogenic force. Exo here means outside. The force which act on the surface of the earth. This time is not from the inside. Okay, your orogenic and aphrodenic was from the inside, but this exogenic is from outside, on which acts on the surface of the earth and leads to the formation of landform is called your exogenic forces. Here there are two, for example, of exogenic force. We can say weathering of the rocks. Also you can tell about the erosions. Okay, so these are the two exogenic force which works, that is weathering and erosion. Let us study about mountains now. We have three types of mountain. Firstly, fold mountain, residual mountain, block mountain. We'll be specifically studying about your fold mountain. Now the fold mountains are formed due to this sedimentary deposits. Okay, like I told in the previous slides, that when a sedimentary rocks or deposits are in between the two plates, and when the plates move towards each other, they compress, folding happens, and that in return forms your fold mountain. Example, your Himalayan mountains and your Alps mountain. Now there are two types of fold mountain. Firstly, young fold mountain. Secondly, old fold mountains. What? Let us see the characteristics of the young fold mountain. These mountains are formed in the recent phase of mountain building. Means they are not old mountains. They are formed very recently. Okay, and they have steep slopes, deep valleys, and they have sharp pointed top covered with snow. Okay, the peak of the mountain will be always pointed and will be mostly covered with snow. Volcanic activities are also common in these mountains. Most of the volcanic activities are very common in the Yangfo mountains. Example of this Yangfo mountain are the Himalayas and these Alps and the Rockies. Next come to the Old Fold mountain. The Old Fold mountain are formed long ago, before even the young fold mountains were formed. So they are much older to your young fold mountain. Now they are not very, they are not tall, as your Yangful mountain. They're irregular in shape, they have more gentler slopes, and their tops are not conical but they are rounded in shapes. Now they are lower than your Yangful mountain, like we already said. In terms of height, it is much lower than your Yangful mountain. Example is your Aravalli, Alpacchian, and Ural mountains. Residual mountain. Residual mountains are those which are exposed constantly to the effect of weathering and erosion for a very long period of time, and it wants down, or it breaks down the mountain slowly and slowly, and it brings down the height. That is called your residual mountain. The residual mountains are also called the mountain of degradations. Mountains of residuals are characterized by low elevation, means lower in height, and have gentle slopes. For the example, your Nilgiri, Rajmahal Hill, and Catskill Range are some of the examples of your residual mountains. Another type of mountain comes your block mountain. This mountain is formed due to the EXOGENIC forces. Okay, when when it leaves a two-fold occurring in the tensional force and causes crack along the fault line of the earth, it causes the formation of block mountain. Rift valley. Now these rift valley are those which lies in between the two block mountains, are known as your rift valley, means the subsidence land between the two parallel fault which rises to form block mountain. The image will give you a clear view of how the block mountain is. Now you can see here, one portion has subsided along the fault line, the other has raised. So this raised portion is known as your host or your block mountain. Now the gap between these two hosts is known as your rib belly or your garben. This class will be starting only till this topic. The other topics will be uploaded in your next upcoming videos. So please subscribe the channel.